Joining me right now, former Energy Secretary and former Texas Governor Rick Perry. Governor, it's great to see you this weekend. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you, Maria. It's good to be with you.
How do you explain what took place? He said he wants to do everything possible to get prices down, and yet he skips a meeting with the oil CEOs after slamming them for weeks.
Yeah, this is like having people over to your house and then kind of stiffen them, not paying any attention to them. The messaging here is powerful. And it's continuing to build upon a narrative that this administration, for the last 2 years, has clearly sent to the oil and gas industry. At some point in time, you can only slap somebody in the face so many times, and then they kind of go, okay, I get it. You really don't like us. And they're going to go on about their business. They're going to go do what they need to do to take care of the people that actually respect them, that understand the importance of what they do. And that's the American people. So, you try to be respectful to the President of the United States, but at some point in time, you just ignore him, because I think that's what they have to do going forward now to take care of not only the citizens of this state, their stockholders, et cetera, is just ignore this man. He is out of touch and really sending powerful messages is we hate the fossil fuel business. We will do everything in our world to replace you with renewables that. And listen, nothing against renewables. I support them, but they have a limited place in the portfolio.
Chevron CEO wrote a letter to this president saying, look, we produced the highest volume of oil and gas in our 143-year history. In 2021, we also had 1.25 million barrels a day in the first quarter of this year. And yet you speak to us with a negative tone. He writes, notwithstanding everything that we do, your administration continues to ostracize the oil and gas industry. Governor, you know this better than anybody. What is the potential of the oil and gas under the ground in America right now? If he did not cancel the XL pipeline, if he did not, cancel drilling on federal land and do everything that he's done in terms of a whole government approach to killing fossil fuels, would gasoline prices and oil be in a different place today?
Absolutely, and it doesn't take an energy economist to be able to understand that. It's all supply and demand. America is the number one oil and gas. We were the number one oil and gas producing country in the world until the Biden administration showed up. And anyone who has a moderate degree of understanding of supply and demand, of simple economics, understand that this administration sending messages, making it tougher for people to get permits, sending the messages, even if you have a permit, we're going to use our rules in government, say the SEC, to put your woke leftist climate-centric rules in place that are going to cost you a lot of money. And those wise individuals understand it's kind of like, look, we're not going to go risk the capital of our company here with an administration that's going to punish us. So this is sad for the American people that are out there suffering right now, Maria. That's what's really happening. Yeah. I think we've hurt this bad since back in the late 70s with Jimmy Carter and the gas lines that were there. And we may be headed there again. I don't know that. But I know that people are hurting at $5 plus gasoline, the cost of inflation that's being driven by energy. This administration is going to get blamed for it, as they should. And November is going to be a real comeuppance for them all across the country, particularly in legislatures back in states. There's going to be a red wave coming. Hate to get focused here on politics, but that may be the only solution for the American people.
Well, I mean, they're calling this a transition, as if this is all intentional. Yes, you have to suck it up right now, high prices, because we're in this transition. Meanwhile, at the meeting this week on wind energy, the president appeared to be reading from a cheat sheet, Look at this, Governor. Step-by-step instructions. Enter the room. You take your seat. You ask the AFL-CIO head a question. Then you thank everyone. I mean, these directions on his behavior from a cheat sheet?
This should not surprise anyone. This is a candidate who stayed in the basement for the entirety of the campaign. And once he was the president of the United States, he was put into place, then they started handling him, because every time he got outside of the bounds of whatever he was supposed to have been doing that day, it's just been a mess. He's fouled it up. They've had to come back in and clean up after him. So they're kind of like, okay, we're going to handle this individual as closely as we can and pray to God he will follow the instructions that are in front of him and not ad lib at all. Because, I mean, it is a sad thing for our country. And the citizens of this great United States of America are paying a huge price for an individual who is either mentally incapable or is being handled by people who are so Machiavellian from the standpoint of, you got to follow exactly our lead. I don't know. It's stunning, the ineptitude of this administration.
Not as stunning as the policies, though. I got to get your take on the wide open border situation. And this is another of his policies. Former governor of Texas, you know better than anybody about what's happening in Texas right now. The Border Patrol is reporting several more large surges of migrants illegally crossing into the country. Agents have apprehended 300 migrants in one Texas location alone. We're hearing morale for Border Patrol agents is, quote, in the toilet. Here's Hector Garza, and he joined me earlier this week. Watch.
Our Border Patrol agents are very disappointed in this administration, because we see on a daily basis that we cannot protect our country, that we cannot protect our borders based on these policies that are being implemented by the Biden administration. And we can't even hire fast enough. We don't even have enough candidates in the pipeline to be able to have enough agents to secure the border.
Governor, what's your take at what's going on at the border?
Well, Mayra Flores is a great example of what to expect going forward in Texas, and I will suggest to you other states as well, but particularly in Texas, because they're at the epicenter of this onslaught of individuals coming into our country illegally. The Border Patrol agents put their lives on the line every day. Mrs. Flores' husband is one of those agents, and she ran and won in a historic Democrat seat just a couple of weeks ago, won overwhelmingly, I think 6 or 7 points she won. That's going to happen over and over and over again this November all across this country, but particularly in Texas. What the Biden administration has done is be able to turn the Hispanic population into a reliable Republican voter by these asinine policies that they put into place dealing with immigration. When you take away the rule of law, when you say we're going to defund the police, when we're going to open up our borders, and then you put the economic policies on top of that, any voter, whether they're Hispanic or Latina or whatever you refer to them, those voters are wise, and they see how this policy of immigration, in particular illegal immigration, is impacting their communities, and they're going to push back and push hard.
We appreciate you, Rick Perry, joining us. Thank you, sir.
Okay, God bless you. So long.